In other news today, a criminal complaint filed against a Madison priest details an undercover operation where officers posed as a teenage girl. WMTV's Cameron Kelly has been following this story closely. And Cameron, the undercover operation started earlier this month.
Mark, the criminal complaint states a Clintonville sergeant posed as the teen named Abby. Images of the fake child were made using images of another officer, then edited to make the person look like a teen. The sergeant used Reddit to create a post saying Abby was looking for a man in Wisconsin. The sergeant made it clear that the teen was 14 years old, and 37-year-old priest Andrew Showers said he was interested in meeting up for sex, and that's according to the complaint. He allegedly sent explicit photos of himself and talked about sexual acts before the two agreed to meet up. Clintonville police reported seeing a vehicle matching Showers' description just before 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, and he was identified and arrested. After his arrest, Showers wrote an apology letter to Abby saying that he, quote, put his own desires, wants, and brokenness before her well-being. This morning, through a Lodi police report, we learned a family reported Showers in 2021 for allegedly asking inappropriate questions to a child during confession. The report says a parent was waiting to hear back from the Diocese of Madison, who conducted an investigation after that incident. The incident did not result in criminal charges. Live in studio, Cameron Kelly, WMTV 15 News.
Cameron, thank you. Showers is expected to appear in court for his initial appearance on September 30th.